Brian were just talking about a topic that I think is relevant to all of you of the F&I 20 group, and specifically since I'm about to go have lunch with the Shaka Dyson himself, I thought that I would ask Brian to ask the question directly to Shaka. So all of you members can answer the question, but I'll be sitting down with Shaka here in about 45 minutes. So Brian, you were describing a great portion of your business is coming from out of state.
Yes, 50%.
And so what that's leading to is that digital transaction and that FedEx transaction, right?
Correct.
Customers aren't even physically showing up.
Correct. And we don't have a situation where we can sit down in a controlled environment and talk about the car.
Right.
So the customers that we're calling on the phone are telling us bad timing, they're at the baseball game, they're not focused on the car purchase.
Yeah, so you can't really pitch. You don't have your 30, 45-minute controlled environment to set up and structure and walk through your pitch and your presentation. So really what you're having to do is you're having people just say, just send me the documents. I really am not interested in any of those extras. Just send me over the payment I agree to with the salesperson and FedEx it to me.
Correct.
So your question to Shaka and really to the rest of the group is,
how do we build rapport? How do we keep control? And how do we keep maintaining our F&I profits where we need to take care of the dealership's needs?
Yeah. And now you're not a member of the F&I 20 group yet.
No.
But I'm about to get you in the group.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
All right,
bye, guys.
Thanks. All right, Shaka, that's your question of the day from Brian Westbrook here at Jim Ellis Porsche. So let's get an answer, or two, or three, or 1,000 from the group.
All right, so I just saw this this video from Brian Westbrook, Jonathan Dawson at Jim Ellis Porsche, and the finance manager is asking what's the best approach to doing out-of-state deliveries. Now, here's one thing that I caught about this video is he said 50%. Brian, you said 50% of your business is out of state, deliveries. So one thing that I'm going to tell you is this, man. The first thing that you have to understand is there's no magic potion to this, all right? What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to use technology to your benefit, all right? Now, 50% is an unusually high number of out-of-state deliveries for any store. Okay, so you should have a process dialed in to handle those type of customers, because regardless if they're in your store or outside of your store, we have to have the process put in place that we can roll out the red carpet for these customers. Now, if you're doing 50% of your deliveries outside of your dealership, you should have a process in which you're not getting a deal at the very last minute and the paperwork has to go out right that second. You should have a process in your store where you have the ample opportunity to reach out to that customer to discuss the financial transaction before you ever FedEx out numbers. So if you're saying that when you call out to a customer, they're at a ball game or they're at the movies or whatnot, you should have more than just that opportunity to reach out to those customers. Because the fact is that when they're spending 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 on your product, which is Porsche, then they deserve the opportunity to be protected with your protection that you have to offer. So the first thing I would tell you is that, listen, in your store, we need to structure a process. Reach out to me. I'm happy to teach you what that process should look like. But we need to structure a process in which you have ample opportunity to interact with that customer. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing is that you, because you have 50% of your deliveries out of state, you need to get involved in that deal extra early, all right? There should be an F&I introduction to that customer extra early, all right? It should the customer, you should never be mysterious to a customer. It should never be a mystery that the F&I manager is going to reach out to that customer, to the customer that's taking delivery of that $70,000 or $80,000 product, okay? You need to become familiar through communication, through phone calls, with that customer, okay? That's the second thing. The third thing is that you need to utilize technology. Okay, that's the bottom line, because technology allows us to be in the room even if we aren't physically in the room, all right? So you need to be able to dial in your presentation via technology, via the FaceTime, like people have said in the comments, via the Skype, or via one of my favorite uses is the live webinars where I can interact, or the meetings where I can interact back and forth with the customer, and I can also share my screen with them so that they can take a look at the presentation as I verbalize it and as I go through it. So you need to figure out how to how to use the technology that's available to you so that you can take your products and still build value in them. I'm going to tell you the wrong thing to do is to call customers only one time and just assume that you can't sell the product, or fax them over a menu if you guys are still using that. What I want you to do is I want you to approach it differently. Over communicate with that customer long before you ever FedEx out that paperwork. Make sure that you get a presentation dialed in. Make sure you get involved in that deal ultra early so that customer gets ultra familiar with you, and then have a phenomenal dynamic presentation that you know how to do using the technology, using the FaceTime, using the Skype, or my favorite, using the one-on-one webinar or the one-on-one meetings like Zoom or whatnot, so that the customer can interact with you, also share your screen as you give a phenomenal presentation. This is how you're going to improve the revenue that you get on those deals. And you need to do it yesterday, my friend, if 50% of your book of business is out-of-state deals. 678-481-4077. Give me a shout if I can help you out in any way, shape, form, or fashion, man. I'm happy to do it. Thanks, man. Peace.